Well, hello, folks. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and the lawn is getting watered. We got dogs running around, and I thought I'd just put it out here. I wrote it in the comments on the YouTube page, but I got a little silly with my phone and was trying to make more room on it, and I got on YouTube Studio and thinking that it was on my phone, and I deleted episode 1. And so I found a little bit of the raw footage. It's not the entire thing, but I put episode 1 back up, but I lost all the likes and views and all that stuff. So if you feel sorry for me for being so silly, you could go back and run that one through again. The one that I posted first was better. But enough said about that. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and introduce a few of the other characters that you see running around in the background. So, here we go. Well, this old guy is Goose. He's a rescue that my daughter brought home. He's about the sweetest old guy you ever want to meet. And this is her other dog, the puppy of the group. And she does like her brother. This is Tango. And this is Biddy. Biddy's been with us for a few years now. And then you see these girls running around wildly. This is Ella. Nobody cooperates when you're trying to film. And the other one is her sibling, sister, litter mate, Emma. Yeah, hi girls. We had a little fire and a family get-together last night. It was to celebrate my wife Ida and our daughter-in-law Marlene's birthdays. They're only a day apart, so we have a get-together. For us folks, this is spring. As you can have seen in other videos, we've been dealing with snow and rain and, not great weather. So this get-together is usually our first one of the summer. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's do something with the camper. Well, I've put a few pieces in since you guys were last watching. Just like I said I was going to do, just a whole bunch of screwing things together. This is how you recess the head of the screw when you're going in at an angle. Drill a little bit of a hole and then take it sideways. Then you change to a smaller bit and just give it a pilot hole. Like so. Then you put in your screwdriver bit. And oops. Drive in the screws. My bit is getting a bit worn out. Like that. It's getting pretty solid. I think I can walk on it now. And it is sunshiny out. So we may have to get back on top. Lots to look at. Trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. Still got to do these. We'll get that done. Now the reason for these pieces here and here and around is so that the whatever I use for the sealing material will have, and the molding will have something solid to adhere to, screw into, however I end up doing it. Anyway, it's just like on the other side that I just did. Go in at an angle and make a recess for the head to go in so it doesn't interfere with the sealing material. Well, there. Another step closer. Okay, what I've got so far is just a whole bunch of reinforcement and new wood and hopefully some structural integrity to my project. I'm going to back out of this small space here, give you a little better view of some of it. And on the living quarters side, you can see that there's a whole lot more 2x and a little bit of an arch. And you can see I added some shim, at least for now. Those aren't screwed in or glued in yet because I need to get back up on top and see how much give there is and see if I need to do more shimming or maybe even a little less. we won't know for a while. I did splice that wire back together. And clear back here at the back, I'm in the middle of adding some wire to go back here because I bought a new vent fan to go here, and I'll just wire it into this bunch of wires that goes to the light that goes right here, and hopefully that'll work. Okay, I took a look at the weather app. It's supposed to be sunny for the rest of the week, so I'm going to brave it and take the tarp off. I can get back up on the roof and take care of some more of those leaks. I am going to resort to power tools and the such, because that hand scraping is getting pretty darn monotonous. So let's get after it. I've got help. And just like magic, there's a camper. Okay, this works a little bit better than hand scraping. It's got to. Okay, you get the idea. I'm not going to waste footage making you guys bored. I'll fast forward through what I just did so you don't have to put up with it. It's just going to be a whole bunch of that for now until I get it cleared enough to put some of the sealer tape on it. I was going to say EternaBond, but I don't think that's the actual brand name of what I got. So anyway, another part done. Well, once again, I did some of the work while I didn't have a camera set up. If you remember, this had some of that white tape around it, but it was sitting on top of tar and silicone and a little bit of putty and some other sealants that were already cracked and leaking. So the white tape that they put on not only was crooked and not doing much, but it was just leaking. Anyway, when I was on the inside and I needed to pull out some of these screws, this is the vent over the bathroom, and I almost forgot to set up the camera, so I'll finish taking these screws out. As you can tell, I remembered in the nick of time. And we'll see what kind of yuck we've got. Well, not too bad. See, most of the putty came with it. I didn't bring anything up to take care of the electrical connections, so we'll take care of that here in a little bit. Anyway, from up here the hole looks better because it's got new wood. Well, I'll get some scraping tools to get that tar off of there because it just makes a mess of the wire wheel, and my can of acetone for cleaning things up. We'll see how it goes. Looks like I don't need to do much for electrical disconnecting. We'll do that right now. That was like pushing the easy button. I'll be right back. And this is why I don't trust the weather app all the time. But it's not much of a storm. We just got a little bit of sprinkles a little bit ago, not enough to worry about, and I think this will be the same. So we'll just continue on. Well, just to give you an idea how nasty that white tape is to take off of things, I'll go ahead and peel some of this. It shouldn't be too hard actually, because it's adhered to really crappy dried out stuff. So And not only that, the sun's shining on it, so it helps loosen up that adhesive. I ordered new plumbing vents to replace these. The ones I've got coming are all aluminum, so they're not this plastic that breaks with when you look at it wrong. You know, I sure wish this stuff had come up as easy as this stuff is. Big difference. This is more like that over there was. It's actually still a little easier. Anyway, now you've got an idea of what that stuff is like. Well, let's see if acetone does anything to this stuff. If not, I'm going to have to get something different. Well, it's working some. it's still a sticky goo. Well, it may be that it just reactivates this stuff. And that would be disappointing. What's wrong, Ella? Won't your sister play with you? Well, once again, I'm not going to put you through all the monotony of watching me try to get goo up. So, we'll come back to it in a minute. Not only that, it started sprinkling. That doesn't make me very happy. And I'm back. And the sun is shining. And the metal is very warm. And I went and looked at some YouTube videos to find out what people use to get rid of this sticky. And the consensus was odorless mineral spirits. And I have just a smidgen left in the bottom of this jug. And if it works, I'm going to go get a whole bunch more. So let's give it a try. I think people like the mineral spirits because it doesn't evaporate as fast, so you can just keep on cleaning with it, and it seems to be working pretty good. It's still going to be a slow process. But that's okay. That, and I'm going to cut up some old towels we have for some rags that ought to do a little better than this smooth shop towel that I decided to ruin. And with that, I think I'll go to the hardware store and get some more mineral spirits. Then we'll, oh, that was nice. We'll come back and give it another shot. Huh. Heat apparently is helping also with the scraping up of the goo. That's going to make shorter work of it yet. We'll let the sun beat on that for a little bit more while I go to the hardware store. For you guys, it'll just be a few seconds. Okay, I'm back. And I've got a cut up pink towel. And that was all the dribbles of that one. Well, here I go again. Now, I could have gone down and got a hammer, but that would have entailed climbing up and down the ladder again, and I didn't feel like it. Well, now that I got that sticky nastiness off, the acetone does a pretty darn good job of cleaning up the remnants of the power brush. It does evaporate fast on a day like this, though. All right, now I'm gonna go get the brand spanking new vent fan and stick it in the hole and see where it needs to sit in there. I may have to trim a little bit of wood right here, maybe here. We'll see. Be right back. Well, you never know how sidetracked you're going to get. But this wasn't too bad. I'm not more than a couple minutes later. Well, look at that. All bright and shiny new. Okay. Now you learn from experience. And my experience is you don't screw it down until you go inside and check for clearances and get it situated. Then you mark it. Okay, here we are inside. And it nestled down in, but it's a little bit too snug for my liking right there. So try to do this one-handed. There. Handy dandy Sharpie. Now, unfortunately, the old vent fan was scooted a little bit too much that way, and we've got original holes outside of where it's the new one's going to set. So I'll have to make sure I take that into account. I may be able to slide it a little ways that way, but I need the clearance for the wires to the new fan. So I might be able to scoot it a little bit. Everything else looks pretty good. So we're gonna go inside and play around a little bit with the shims that I did and check and make sure nothing is severely out of place, other than I think I need to undo this 2x and drop it down a little because it's holding this corner up. So that's what's next on the agenda. Okay, definitely need to undo this. Because I ended up with 2 layers of 3/8 plywood in here. And it's pretty hot in here. I'm just gonna cut it off. Just as easy as that. Okay, here we go again. I got everything shimmed and things screwed back into place. I do have a little piece of wood right here that's glued in with this clamp holding it till I get everything situated. So the next step is the butyl rubber tape that goes around the edge of these beasts. And kind of the secret to this is getting it out to the edge in both directions. And you squeeze it on a little bit. quite kindergarten scissors, but they're not a whole lot more than that. Then you peel off the backing. Sometimes it does not want to cooperate. There we go. Somebody's timing is not right. There's a heck of a backfire going on over there. Okay. That is a sealed, in place vent fan. Okay, folks, this is where I'm going to end this video. I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with me. Sorry that some of these kind of get a little long, but there's a lot of stuff to put in there and a lot of stuff to cut out. So until next time, you all have a good one. My wife doesn't think a 70-year-old man ought to be climbing up and down ladders like that.